Projection and Judgment, Part 2. And this is to increase your knowledge and your awareness and your consciousness about how this exists on an unconscious level, what you can do about it, and how you're going to deal with other people. Every one of us, I don't care who you are, and that includes me, has to deal with being the object of someone else's negative projection. They put something on you that doesn't feel good, doesn't feel right, doesn't fit, and you are left kind of dumbfounded. This has happened to me. And you find yourself not being able to say anything to counter this projection, this judgment that's been put upon you. Everybody does it to a certain degree. Now I want to talk about the negative judgment first. The negative judgment is when you are in a particular social setting. You could be in a relationship, a serious relationship. You could even be in a marriage. And the other person projects something from inside of themselves that is negative, judgmental, hostile, and it doesn't fit, especially when they put it on you about something that you really love and like and treasure in yourself. With me, that's my sense of humor. I love my sense of humor. I love it. I don't expect everybody else to love it. I'm very glad that some of my best friends love it. There's a lot of people out in the social world who love it. My wife loves it. My family loves it. But I run into some distant relative or someone who's got something inside of them at a primal level that has to do with one of their own parents, perhaps a father or a mother. A judgment. And I can be in their presence and I am displaying my sense of humor or whatever other behavior you may have, and somebody takes a shot. They actually come from behind a rock. They aim it right at you. It's a projection. It's a judgment. And it doesn't feel right to you. And this has happened to me. And for a moment, I'm kind of stymied. I don't know what to say. Has this ever happened to you? And then you go home and later on you start to ruminate on it. You start to think about it. And you find yourself emotionally distancing yourself from that individual. It pushes you away. It doesn't increase connection. It doesn't increase friendship. It doesn't enhance trust. It puts a negative inside of you. It's like a bullet. I'm not going to lie to you. Someone projects something inside of them from their dark side, from their deep primal pool that has to do with some other parent, and they shoot it right at you. It's happened to me. It happens to everyone. What do you do about it? This is your choice. You will try to find solutions. Maybe you'll meditate, you'll undergo hypnosis, you'll go do all kinds of affirmations, you'll do this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other, and it just doesn't seem to go away. It keeps coming up. It even comes up even more forceful over time, and you are faced with it. Now you've got something you've got to confront. There's something coming into your life that you don't want. Like I've said, this has happened to me. It is up to you to be able to become aware enough to know what it is that you want to come through your front door. You need to become aware of what it is you want or you don't want into your life. And that means making a selection, making judgments of your own about who you will let into your inner sphere and who you will keep at a distance. Judgment and projection are like mirrors. You shoot them out there, they come back at you. You shoot them out there, they come back at you. Somebody shoots one at you, you shoot it back at them sooner or later. How do you deal with it? That is a question that I will leave up to you to try to answer. You'll need to answer that question over and over again. What I am going to do, and what I have done in the past, is whenever I get a future meeting with that kind of person, if the opportunity presents itself, I will sit down with them in a very calm way. And I'll preface what I'm going to say. I'll say, listen, we need to talk about something. There's something going on between you and I that is causing me a little bit of consternation. Something's bothering me. And I will tell you what it is. I will inform it what it is in your behavior that is annoying me or pushing me away, or that I cannot allow into my life. You're doing something negative that's causing me to judge you and reject you, and I don't want to reject you. You are saying something, and I'm picking it up, that it's coming from a dark side inside of you, some unfinished business that you have maybe with one of your own parents. Now that's an interpretation, I understand that. And a lot of people are going to shoot that down, that I'm trying to be a therapist. Well, I am a therapist, and that's what it is. And a fact is a fact. And when you help somebody become aware of something, it may correct the problem. It may heal the relationship. It may set up some boundaries. You have to be very, very careful about what you let into your life. It's as simple as that. And who you let into your life. The more wisdom and knowledge that you have about how life operates, the more effective you will be in establishing very profitable, very loving, very warm, very close, intimate relationships. Who and what do you want in your life? You will make judgments based on that. And some of them are very healthy judgments. I am not putting down or rejecting the process of judgment when it's used appropriately, productively, and constructively. So, when you're talking to this other person and you wish to mend and heal the relationship, I need to inform you that what you're doing comes from a dark place inside of you. It's a negative, and you're putting it on me. And to be honest with you, I really don't want it, I don't like it, and I wish you would remove it and take it out of my existence. Now that's a kind way of putting it. That's one way of putting it. Now you can fly off the handle. A lot of people fly off the handle all the time. They get angry, they start an argument, they get agitated, they even get intense about it. But I am suggesting a way with you to open up a channel of communication with another human being where you can inform them that something in their behavioral repertoire, some unfinished business, is being directed towards me as an object. As an object. And I am getting some negativity from you that I feel that I do not deserve. It doesn't really belong to me. Now, as an authority figure, and I am an authority figure, I am in a position where I am a potential target. That's a reality. You may be in a position in your family or your profession or your work or wherever you are where you become the object of someone else's negative judgment and projection. What you do with that depends on what strategies are available for you at the moment. I can remember playing music because I have an inner musician and I play music. I play music with my wife. It's one of the most enjoyable experiences that we have. We do it together. We love it. It is extremely rewarding. And in my opinion, my judgment, we do it very well. And a lot of people love it and enjoy it. One day, a homeless man was coming down the street and he was insulting and saying negative things to a lot of other people who were operating on this place called the Promenade in Santa Monica. And he made it a fact that he wished to get noticed for his negative projections. I didn't know he was homeless, but he went down the street saying these negative things to other performers and other vendors, and they were all getting upset. He made the tragic mistake of dumping his negativity on my wife and myself. And my wife laid him out in the most subtle way and in the most direct way. She shut him down. She said, I reject what you're saying, and nobody was interested in your opinion. Why did you give it? Nobody asked for it. And I turned to him and I said to him, how does it feel to be rejected for your negativity? How does it feel to be rejected for your negativity? And he started some kind of argument. And I said, look, I'm not here to argue with you. You happen to be absolutely, totally wrong. Sorry. Because we are enjoying our playing. We are seeing it very, very positive. So are a lot of other people. So the negativity must exist inside of you. It is your thing. It is your thing, and you're dumping it and projecting it onto a lot of other people. And then he comes out with a confession. He says, well, I'm homeless. So I said, well, that's a little bit more honest. You may want to ask yourself, maybe perhaps you're homeless because of something inside of you, something dark inside of you, something negative that is causing you. He said, well, I was only trying to help. And my wife said to him, we didn't ask for your help. We didn't need your help. You projected that you were going to try to help us. Besides, I don't accept that. You were just trying to enhance yourself, build up your own self-esteem. This situation was a pure conflict. And it happens over and over again, not only in my life, but in everyone else's life. It happens in your life. How you deal with it is going to determine the quality of your life, how good you feel about yourself, and how well you deal with difficult situations, and they will arise, especially when you are on the front line, a target, when you are exposed visibly and physically to someone else's negativity, and they take a shot at you. Does this sound familiar to you? How many of you really understand exactly what I'm saying? How many of you have been in similar situations? What if you are one of those people who continually and chronically keeps projecting something negative onto someone else? Maybe it's a pattern for you that has caused great distress in your relationships. You're going to have to really think about this. There are people in my life and in your life, and you see them self-destructively bringing negativity into a relationship, bringing negativity, a transference, a projection, something dark, something negative. And it causes undue pain to other people. When it becomes a chronic problem, a continuous pattern of behavior, you may find yourself all alone and unsuccessful in certain interpersonal relationships. Personally, for me, a lot of the choices I've made in my life, I have been able to turn around and make something positive out of them. You learn from your mistakes, and sometimes you have to make the same mistake over and over again until you make better choices. When somebody has a pervasive, chronic, negative thing going on with them, and they keep projecting it onto other people, and they themselves end up on a, quote, list, we've got judgment going on. So judgment does exist. We have to deal with it. And how you deal with it determines how effective you will be in the world. Now, the next point is, how do you judge yourself? This is a very, very critical, very important question. Because how you judge yourself determines your effectiveness in the world. If you judge yourself in an extremely positive way, if you feed yourself positive judgments, your behavior will coincide and be congruent and in sync with your own personal judgments. Am I a good person? There's a judgment. It's an evaluation. It's not about, objective information. It's about a value judgment. A value judgment. How do you value yourself? Am I a good person? Yes, I am a very good person. I am a very, very good person. I love myself and I enjoy being with me. And so do a lot of other people. I am a lot of fun. I may not be a lot of fun for you because you may have something negative inside of you that you wish to project and dump onto me. You have unfinished business with a negative parental introject. That's a fabulous word. Negative parental introject. I used to call this, I still do, the bad daddy, the bad mommy. The good news is I have come to terms with my mother and father a long, long time ago. I have cleaned out a lot of my pain with them. And right now, both my parents are deceased, and I have made a lot of peace with them over the years. A lot of peace and love. Because I worked on myself, and these may be very strange words to you, but peace and love are not just words. They are real feelings that you can work on. You can come to peace with yourself and with others. Especially your own parents, your own mother and father, whom you may have been in a cycle of judgments, where you judged them and they judged you, and they taught you how to judge others and maybe made you into a negative human being. You could have a disorder. And if you're interested in the possibility that you possess a disorder, you can go to my website, www.psychotherapyhelp.com, and I have many, many manuscripts and papers and books and CDs on behavior, on peace and love and disorder. Knowledge is power, and wisdom is all about thriving and surviving. Do you have a Solomon inside of you? Wisdom and peace and love. Wisdom and peace and love. So, one of the other strategies that you can think about when you come across a situation where there is a mirroring effect of mutual judgment and there's negativity in it, one of the strategies is, how do I come to a place of peace and love? Peace and love. This is not something you take for granted. It is something that you have to work on a daily basis. You can use affirmations, you can use deep feeling methods, you can use meditation. You need to take people off of your crap list, is what I'm going to call it. I have another word for it, but I may not be able to use it here. You may want to take those people off of that list. And the way to do that is to picture them in your meditation, and you are experiencing, feeling, and sending out peace and love to them. This may sound very esoteric, it may sound very spiritual. Well, it is. It exists on another level. It's the quantum level. It's the super level, the supernatural level. You have the power and the influence inside of you, the power and the influence in your spirit and your deeper self to send out energy and vibrations of love and peace, even to those who have done you harm. Sounds familiar? Well, if you need further evidence, I suggest you might try some of the things in the New Testament, even in the Old Testament. You might try some of the things the great sages have taught, how the Moshiachs and the Messiahs, the Saviors, love your enemy. Don't get pulled into temptation. You may try the spiritual realm. You may actually find peace in your heart for that human being that has harmed you in some small way or even in a big way. Forgiveness is a very, very powerful strategy, but you'll need to heal yourself. Like I said before, you can sit down with who the people are involved in that negative projection, in that negative judgment. You can sit down with them and try to confront the behavior in a very calm, relaxed way, in a very loving way, in a very concerned way, and you can come to a place of healing. Or you can explode. It's up to you. I don't know what that'll do, because we all have triggers. We all have triggers. Nobody's free of triggers. And we're all capable of pushing other people's buttons, and other people are very capable of pushing our buttons if we let them. But it's important that you know what your triggers are, you know what your buttons are, and you know where your reactivity is. So when you feel something coming up inside of you, this all has to do with feeling, and you start to feel agitated and you associate it with another human being, it says that you are in conflict with that person. And what are you going to do about it? Asking great questions helps. I hope this has been helpful for you. Remember, you are responsible for working on yourself, coming to a place of peace and love, trying to get the other people off of that crap list. Forgiveness is very possible. Sitting down and discussing it with him, solving problems, working on yourself. These are all solutions. Dealing with the feelings inside of you. If you have to hit the floor and cry it out, scream it out, do it. If you have to hit the punching bag, do it. If you have to use a tennis racket on a mattress, do it. But work your feelings. Get in touch with your deepest feelings. Clean out that so-called cesspool. Clean out that universe of negativity. If you don't, it will continually keep coming up to haunt you. Do you want a better, more loving, more peaceful, more self-fulfilling life? Work on yourself.